Hey everybody, Tim Jordan here with Carbon6, and I'm super excited to be part of this summit. I think that there is very little you can do that's better for your business than learning, than stretching our minds and listening to new ideas, new thoughts, new techniques, new practices, and continuing to evolve. As the Amazon platform, especially the advertising platform, changes, seems like weekly, we can be left behind if we're not keeping up to date and investing in ourselves. So I just want to say kudos to all of you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your business by working to better yourself and learn more techniques and learn more strategies that hopefully are beneficial. The way that I value a presentation like this as being successful or not is if you come away with one idea. All right. So if there's one idea, one tip, one piece of a strategy that helps you improve your profitability and the success of your business, then I feel like I've won. Now, hopefully I'll have a lot more than just one idea, but that's my KPI for success. So if you watch this presentation and you don't learn a single thing, then send me a message on LinkedIn or on Facebook and tell me how horrible it was. I'd love to hear that. And I've given this challenge a lot of times to a lot of people in person and events like this, and I've never had anybody send me a message saying that. So I'm pretty confident. Let me pull up my slide here. So the topic of ranking, the topic of launching has been one that's evolved a lot over the past several years. I remember in 2016, 17, we did all sorts of nefarious things. I guess it wasn't nefarious at the time, but URLs that we shouldn't have used, ranking and launching through giveaways that we, paid for in non-Amazon channels, like all the stuff that we did. Well, Amazon's pretty much shut down most of that. And the holy grail of being like top ranked organically on specific search terms hasn't changed, but the way that we can do that has changed. It's become a lot tougher. Now, luckily what this done is weeded out a lot of the bad players, a lot of the bad apples, and frankly, a lot of our competition. So those of us who are doing things the right way and actually investing in our brand and investing in, our true sales puts us in a better position to win because there are more buyers coming to Amazon every day than there ever has been. But we're starting to weed out sellers. So it's just a larger market share for us. So who am I? I started selling in 2015. I've built and exited several brands. I've created, I think, over 2,000 hours actually of free content. I've worked with a lot of brands, consulted a lot of folks, and I'm now the chief community officer for Carbon6. Now, the reason that I mention this, not just say, oh, here's my resume, but to say I've seen a lot of things from a lot of different angles. So the content that I put out now, the advice, the strategies that I give out now, I feel like are applicable to everybody, right? They're not just some one shot, one kind of square peg that everybody hopes to have a matching square peg. And if you have a round peg, it doesn't fit. No, these are like general practices that basically work for everybody. So here's the claim I'm making now. My claim is I know the best way to improve rank for keywords on Amazon based on real ROI, and it's white hat. So I know this through my personal brand experience. I've worked with over 100 brands, probably 200 or 300 brands actually, and I have just seen mountains of data, beta tests, and working proof, right? This can be in different communities that I'm a part of. This may have been through, projects that I've seen with my consulting or working with Carbon6. So the first thing that I want to set the ground rules of is that we don't sell products. We sell keywords. And I've asked people in conferences, hey, raise your hand if you're an Amazon seller. And they raise their hands and I'm like, quit being an Amazon seller. And they're like, what? I'm like, be a product seller that uses Amazon. And to use Amazon correctly, you have to understand that it's just a search engine. The search engine, like Google or like Pinterest or like YouTube, people are searching for specific keywords and you need to rank for those keywords. So every product has a lot of keywords. A garlic press is a garlic press and a press for garlic, and a silicone handle garlic press and a garlic squisher and a garlic mincer and a garlic crusher on all those keywords. So my point is it's a lot of pieces of real estate search results that we have to rank on, right? And if we're not focusing on all those different keywords, we're missing out on sales opportunities. I give this as an example. This is a product that I've seen for years and still nobody competes on. This is the search term grass wall or grass wall panels. If you go to that, you see these topiary panels. Like nobody's actually selling grass wall panels. People are ranking for it and people are putting their title, but it's a shrub and there's a difference between shrub and grass. And I use this example just to say, look, there are products that people are looking for and still can't find. The best options are not what they're actually looking for. So Amazon still has a lot of opportunities, But if we understand that just because a product is returned as a result for a specific keyword doesn't mean it's relevant. So there could be a lot of opportunities that we're missing. So if you think about Amazon like a retail store, capturing keywords is like putting us on the best shelves, right? We want to be on the end cap of the grocery store. We want to be in the front window on that town square street, right? We want everybody to see our product first. And when we get that shelf space or that ranking, it gives us things like lower tacos, more revenue, market dominance, general branding, higher profit, of course, and then more business value for our business when we go to exit, which most of us, that's part of our model, right? Now, the Amazon algorithm is a hotly debated topic, right? A lot of people claim they know the secrets. They want to know the secrets. They're trying to learn the secrets. But I believe, and I think that most, experts agree, that there are 4 things right now that are most heavily impacting your search result rank in the algorithm. The first one is conversion rate, right? If people are actually clicking on a specific keyword, going to your product and buying it, it's huge. It tells people, or it tells Amazon, this is what people want. And the impressions and views is important, right? Are people actually looking at your product? Are they pulling it up? Are they interested? Now, impressions and conversions actually need to work together, because if you have too many impressions without conversions, well, your conversion rate's going to drop. That's not good. Also, just number of sales coming from different places, right? Like not just your conversion rate, not just your impressions, but number of sales compared to your competitors. So if your conversion rate is 100%, but you're only making 1 sale and getting 1 view per month, well, you're going to be ranked pretty far down. So conversion rate, impression sales, and external traffic. Now, external traffic is one that's recently come up with the advent of the Amazon Attribution Program. Before the Attribution Program, I think a couple years ago when it dropped, there's no way to track this stuff. We couldn't tell what was actually converting, what piece of outside traffic was having a positive impact on our business and our brand and our sales. And that's important stuff to know, right? Without knowing that, it's really hard to justify that spend or that traffic coming from other places. So that was nice. What Amazon did that made it even nicer is they offered the brand referral bonus. So they said anybody that's driving external traffic into Amazon through the attribution program, for every sale, we'll give the seller a 10% rebate on that sale. So if they sell a $30 product, they get $3 back. If they sell an $80 product, they get $8 back. It's huge. So Amazon wouldn't be paying for that traffic if they weren't really, really prioritizing external traffic, market dominance. So I strongly believe that that external traffic, for a lot of reasons, is prioritized by Amazon, and we have the data to support it, and I'll show you some case studies here shortly. So some of the ways that we used to do ranking, again, I've touched on this, rebates, platform manipulation, like getting a lot of people to go and add to cart, add to wish list, add to registry, search, find, buy method, buying reviews, and black hats hacking your competitors. Just to say it here, you all know this, but don't do any of that stuff, right? Like avoid that like the plague. So if we can't do any of those, and Amazon highly prioritizes external traffic for ranking, then I believe that the simplest way to drastically improve rank is external traffic. And there's lots of types of external traffic, right? There's influencer stuff, there's search engine optimization, there is blogs, there's press releases, there's like tons and tons and tons of stuff. Here's a few of like my favorites. I love influencers, product comparisons, deal sites, press publishers. Like I'm not beating up on that. If you are interested in influencers, there are some specifically built platforms. I love Join Brands. There's a few others there. There's an interesting new platform out there built by Amazon sellers called Archer Affiliates. And what it does is it features Amazon associates, but instead of them using their associate link and getting 1 or 2%, they're working with you using that brand referral bonus to get paid a lot more. So interesting stuff there. But don't get distracted by all of it. All of it can be good. I get it. But we have limited bandwidth. We as sellers can only do so much. We can't, learn everything, become experts at everything. And we think about keywords. We're like focused on keywords. So my favorite way to drive external traffic is Google, and then secondarily Facebook. So if you're running Google ads, regardless how you're running it, here's a few things to add to the checklist. Make sure that you're driving keyword specific traffic, right? We want to focus on that keyword traffic so that we're ranking for the keywords that we want, that we need, that are part of our strategy, and focus on long tail and short tail. Another thing is make sure to use the attribution program to track that traffic. If you're just running Google Ads to your Amazon listing and you're not using the attribution link, there's no way you can track the performance, no way to know how well you're doing, and no way to calibrate that. And then you need to track the keyword rank and sales velocity to measure blended ROAS. What that means is don't just run Google Ads hoping to get a positive ROI on the ad spend, right? So if you spend $3 in advertising and you get $50 in sales, that's good. Sometimes you just spend money on advertising and get lower sales, right? Like it might not make sense. Your ROAS might be 110%. Now, typically it's lower, but I'm just saying theoretically, you're spending more money on your advertising than it's worth. Well, I'd ask you to reevaluate worth this, because that external traffic can do so much good in your organic ranking, boost your organic ranking so much that just by driving those ads, your total sales could double or triple, right? You could go from unranked to position number 3 on page 1 of a highly searched keyword, and you're getting free sales. So then it made a lot of sense to drive that external traffic, right? So don't compare 1 to 1. That's why we do this thing that we call blended ROAS. We're measuring the actual input of that ranking juice to increase the sales to justify the ad spend, right? And then another thing that happened, a complete revelation that happened in the industry fairly recently, was the ability to optimize for conversions. Typically, what you would do is you would use Google's ad platform to optimize for impressions. Well, the only person that makes money in that place is Google, right? Because they're getting paid for how many times your brand or your product shows up. Not super valuable necessarily. But Pixelme, which is a Carbon 6 product, we actually built out the ability to optimize for conversions. It was so good, in fact, that when we first dropped it, Amazon freaked out. They did a full audit of our system. They thought, surely you must be breaking some terms of service, doing something black hat. After the full evaluation over a couple months, they actually increased our partnership level. They were so impressed with what we were doing. So if there's ever any question is this legit? Well, Amazon dug under the hood, looked around, and at the end of it, increased our partnership level with them. So that made a big difference, because now we can actually let Google Ads hyper optimize and calibrate for the specific audience. So typically this is what you do. You run your relevant Google traffic to the Amazon listings using the ad optimization attribution program. I like to recapture that audience for retargeting, which I'll show you in a drawing in just a second, and then launch those additional ad types for further retargeting, right? But with lower acquisition cost. Meaning, if I went straight to Facebook and I try to run ads to an audience, they're going to send it to all sorts of people that probably aren't relevant. But if I can build that audience from Google Ads to create a very relevant group of people, then it's going to be more effective. Continue optimizing for higher ROAS. That's in your listings, that's in your ad campaigns, it's everywhere. Keep tweaking, and then you're going to get that 10% cash back for brand referral bonus. So this is what that flow looks like. There on the left, you're starting with your Google ad campaign, and the red arrows is kind of the old method. You'd use the Amazon attribution link, run that traffic to your Amazon listing, and hope to get that conversion event. What's cool with Pixelme now is that Google Ads campaign optimizes for conversions, which it has to run through Pixelme to do that. And then that Pixelme link is going to drive that customer without them even realizing what's happening to the Amazon listing. Maybe they convert. But let's say they go to the Amazon listing and they don't buy. Well, we're now able to retarget them and repixel them for other platforms. So if I'm running a Google ad for a dog watering bowl and someone clicks on that, well, that means they had to search for dog water bowl and they had to click on the ad. Pretty good chance they've got a dog. So if they go to my listing and don't buy, now I can start building an audience of people with dogs on these other places like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And building an audience, like I said earlier on the last slide, it's very expensive on those platforms. This helps us build a hyper-relevant audience. And there's a lot of ways to do that with other places too, not just Google Ads, through influencers, through blogs. You get the idea. So here's the question. I made the statement earlier that external traffic is hyper-valuable for ranking. I also made a statement that Google Ads is really the easiest for the typical Amazon seller. Let me show you some case studies. This is a product that was in health and household. The challenge is the product was buried in the Amazon search results, no telling where they were. And using the optimization for conversions, this is what we were able to do. We were able to create a 15.15% blended ACoS and a 5.49% blended ACoS with halo effect. But check out these lines here with the pink dots. Keyword number 1, 48,000 search volume. That's a big one. Went from number 50, so that's on page 2 or 3, to number 11. That's page 1. Keyword number 2 with 25,000 searches, still a big one, 27 to 9. And we're able to increase their revenue week over week with a decrease in ad spend. Now, if you look at the chart here, this started, in March and ended in April. This is basically just 2 months, and we're only spending $15 a day or so on Google Ads. It's very, very cheap. Here's one in jewelry that I was able to pull up. By optimizing for conversions, check this out. Keyword number 1 went from 27 to number 2. Keyword 2 went from 32 to number 2. And you see on this graph where we were running that, it was pretty short period of time with not very much ad spend. There's a little more information on that. Went from 250% ACoS to 77, and the ROAS went from 39 to 129. But let me show you something that I should show you. And you can pause this and look at some of these case studies. This is actually a screenshot that maybe I shouldn't have shouldn't be showing you, from recent campaigns, just a few months ago. What we're showing here in this first column is the Google ad spend. So $370. The total sales during this period of time, which is 120 days, which is 90 days, it's $5,500. Now, we tracked the tacos before we started. So the 30 days before we started running the Google Ads was 77. Well, the next 30 days, it jumped to 91. And this is a problem, is people see this happen and they freak out. They think, oh man, my Google's way too expensive. You have to give the system time to calibrate. Okay. You have to give it time to optimize for those conversions, because look what happened the next 30 days. It went to 37 and then 0.18. Wild, right? And you see that over and over again. Look at this one down here, maybe line 5 or 6. $500,000 in sales in that 90-day period. $2,700 on Google. Tacos before was 67. Then it went to 55.19, 2.81. Right? Like, these are crazy numbers. And what this proves, one thing, is that, man, these Google ads work. Like, it's cheap. You save a lot of money over sponsored products in a lot of cases for the same ranking amount. And you need to give it a little bit of time, because sometimes it goes from 67 to 55. Sometimes it goes from 93 to 29. Great numbers. Sometimes it does creep up just for the first 30 days. Give it some time. Let it do its calibration and ranking. It's great. So one thing you also need to consider when you're running these Google ads is relevance. You have to make sure that you're saying what they want to hear to the right people that need to hear it for your product. So if you're not doing things like fully optimizing your ads, if you've got really low reviews, ratings, especially like star ratings, it's going to be a little tougher to convert. So make sure you have all your ducks in line. And then we know that when you have a relevant audience, your conversion rate increases, your ad costs decrease, and you can rank like crazy because that conversion rate's so high. So there are some other kind of cool things that we're playing with, or that I'm playing with, such as gaining pre-launch traffic with an associated product. So what if I'm selling dog bowls and somebody else is selling dog collars, and I'm not going to get into dog collars? Well, kind of the same audience, right? What if through the same Pixel Me flow, instead of using an attribution link because I'm going to use somebody else's product, I take that dog collar, I become an affiliate seller for it, and I put that affiliate link into the Pixel Me flow instead, before I even launch my product. What that does is running the Google ads allows me to pre-build a very, very relevant audience. And I can do things like, once I have that audience, find influencers, get testimonials, capture UGC by sending them products, and hopefully they post on social media. And then I run those ads to my acquired audience, so this would be like meta ads. And it works. It's a great way to pre-build an audience. So as a lesson summary, for max impact, and I've got a couple slides, don't give up yet. I've got a couple things for you that are highly, highly valuable. Use external traffic, right? I believe that Google traffic in the form of ads is the easiest way to get this done. Make sure that you're not just targeting one keyword or a couple keywords, target a bunch. And then consider this idea of pre-building a launch audience. Now, when it comes to ranking, we had some of the smartest people in the industry, not even part of Carbon6, collaborate on this huge white paper on ranking in 2024. Scan this QR code, you get free access to it. It is super, super valuable. This is like pages of solid gold. You're crazy if you don't download this and look at it. All right. So I'm going to pause for an awkward amount of time while you scan this code and enter your email, and we'll send it to you. I stand by my statement. You're crazy if you don't download this. All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. Okay, onward. The other thing is, Pixelmate from Carbon6, we can run those Google Ads for you. If you don't know how to set up a Google Ads account and you don't know, the best keywords to focus on and how to optimize that, that's okay. We started off with just the software, and we had so many sellers come to us and say, man, I don't know how to run this, but I love the idea of it. We literally went out and hired Google Ads specialists from Google to run these campaigns for you. So what we can do is we're going to be brutally honest with you and tell you if there's a good opportunity. Not every product works, about 90% do. There's a few products, if they're super cheap, they're super shoppable, like variations in clothing. It's a lot harder to make that work. We'll give you the straight up honest answer. We will give you 10 ASINs for free analyzed. Okay, so analysis of 10 ASINs for free. What that means is you'll give us the ASINs. I don't have access to that. It's just like our specialist group that lives in a black box, so we don't, see other people's stuff. And they will do a hyper vigilant analysis of your product, your ASIN, and compare your keywords to Google keywords and figure out what the average Google cost per, click or impression should be. And they will give you a straight up honest result. These audits are super valuable. I was just at a really high level mastermind where I met a person on day one. They said, man, I'd love to know if my Google Ads would work. I sent them over to the team, and the next day they had their audit results already pulled up and able to read that report. The other thing that I mentioned is, yes, we're terms of service approved. Yes, we not only do a good job on Amazon, but also Google. That's why we have listed different partnership levels here. So we're a preferred partner in the App Store. We are a verified ads partner. We're in the Amazon Emerald program. And then we are a Google partner and a certified Google Click Tracker, which they don't just give those out to everybody. So hope that this was valuable for you. I think that if you're not thinking about external traffic, you're missing out. Pay attention to all the content we have coming out at Carbon6. We have more blogs. We have webinars coming up. We have all sorts of stuff going on, specifically related to some updates that we have now in the technology to track and optimize for conversions on Meta, right? So Facebook and Instagram, some really cool stuff coming out. So make sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And yeah, if you have any questions or thoughts about this, reach out to me. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. You can hit me up on Facebook. And again, so appreciative for Teikametrics putting all this together. Hope this is valuable. And we'll see you all somewhere in the interwebs.